Have you noticed that when you think about what you want, like feeling better, getting a new job, or finding someone special, your brain gets busy? It's like a workshop in your head called the frontal lobe. This part of your brain is all about being creative. It connects to everything else in your brain. When you ask questions like, what if I fell in love? Or what if I had a great job? Your frontal lobe gets to work. It looks at all the things you know or have experienced, and it starts to put them together in new ways. This creates a clear picture in your mind, called your intention. The more details you have about what you want, like how much money you want to make or the kind of people you want to work with, the clearer your intention becomes. It's like painting a picture in your mind. Your intention might just be a simple image, like a picture of a place you'd like to be, but that image represents all the things you want. And once you see it clearly, something amazing happens. You start to feel like you're living in that future. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what you imagine. So when you imagine yourself in that dream job or happy relationship, your brain starts to believe it's real. This is like practicing for the future. But there's one more important thing: emotion. When you add emotion to your intention, it becomes even more powerful. Your body reacts to emotions, whether they're from real experiences or just thoughts. So when you feel the excitement or happiness of achieving your goal, your body starts to believe it's happening right now. It's like living in the future, but feeling it in the present moment. When you start thinking and feeling differently about things, your body starts to change too, deep down in your cells. But there's a catch. You can't wait for good things to happen to feel good inside. You have to feel good inside first, like feeling whole before you're healed, or feeling love before you find a relationship. Usually, people wait for something outside of them to make them feel better inside. They think, once I have that job or that relationship, then I'll feel happy. But that's not how it works. In this new way of thinking, you have to change how you think and feel first, before the good stuff shows up in your life. Your personality, which is made up of how you think, act, and feel, creates your life. So if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing how you think and feel. That means being aware of your habits and behaviors, especially the emotions that tie you to the past. It's like this. If you want a different future, you can't keep thinking and feeling the same way you always have. You have to let go of old emotions and beliefs that hold you back. But it's not easy. You have to stay aware of your thoughts and feelings all the time. You can't let yourself slip back into old ways of thinking or reacting to things. It takes practice and patience, but it's possible. One way to start is by filling your mind with positive things. Read books or watch videos that inspire you and help you think differently. This can help you shift your mindset and create the life you want. Having knowledge is like getting ready for something before it happens. The more you know, the more prepared you are for what's coming. But sometimes, when you start feeling emotional, it's like losing sight of what you're aiming for. It's because emotions can make it hard to see the future clearly. It's like looking through a foggy lens. Every day, when you wake up, take some time for yourself. Think about who you want to be and how you want to feel. Imagine yourself being your best self. This can help you set the tone for your day and make you feel more in control. If you keep doing this every day, you'll start to notice changes in yourself. You'll become less predictable and more open to unexpected things happening in your life. You might even start to notice signs or coincidences that feel like messages from something bigger than yourself. When you're feeling emotional or stuck in old habits, it can be hard to see clearly. But when you let go of those emotions and focus on what you want, you can start to see solutions to your problems. We also know that when people are constantly stressed or worried about things, it's hard for their brains to change. But when they let go of those worries and focus on being present, they can tap into a deeper level of consciousness. This is where real change can happen. So take some time each day to focus on who you want to be and how you want to feel. It might take effort, but it's worth it in the end. I see a big divide happening in how people think these days. Some are sticking to old ways of thinking, old beliefs, but with all the information available now, being ignorant is a choice. People are realizing they can learn things for themselves without relying solely on experts. When you step outside of what's considered normal or conventional, some might see you as foolish or even crazy. But if you can actually make a change, then suddenly you're seen as a genius or a visionary. I'm doing all these experiments and measurements because I want to show people what's possible. Take, for example, someone who healed from a brain injury just by changing their thoughts. Their brain physically improved, not just how they felt. That's the power of the mind. So, there's this gap between old and new ways of thinking, and we're trying to bridge it. But it takes skill and effort. We need to become aware of our unconscious thoughts and habits that hold us back. Once we do that, we can start making real changes in our lives. One after another, we see people experiencing breakthroughs. They share their stories on stage, showing brain scans, heart rates, and energy changes. Just like how an infection can spread through a community, I believe wellness can also spread. When a small group of people steps outside the norms of their environment, amazing changes can happen. But it's not just about talking or believing. We need to measure these changes scientifically. However, the measurements are only as good as the people doing the work. If they can't transcend their analytical minds, they'll stay stuck in old beliefs and emotions, which can actually make their brains worse. We've observed that when people go beyond their analytical minds and tap into their subconscious, they can change their biology and chemistry. So, it's important for our students to learn how to do this. Our goal is to give people the knowledge and tools to transform themselves. We want them to understand the science behind it and be able to explain it to others. Then, through experience, some will undergo profound transformations. And when we measure these changes, it gives us more insight into how transformation works. We're challenging the idea that humans are limited and powerless. It's time for us to take more responsibility for our health and well-being and see if we can achieve tangible results. In science, we have to be willing to confront our biases and seek truth, even if it goes against what we want to believe. We're wired to create naturally. You don't need to force it. You just have to let go of the past and think about what you want in the future. It might sound simple, but it's true. Think about a time when you had a wild idea or dream. You asked yourself, what would it be like to be happy, in love, or successful? And suddenly, your brain kicks into gear. Your frontal lobe, the boss of your brain, starts working. It gathers up all your knowledge and experiences and starts piecing them together to form a vision of what you want. This is called intention. When you're passionate about it, you start feeling the emotions of achieving it. And once you're set on it, nothing can stop you. You start making plans, setting goals, and feeling more and more of those positive emotions. Every step you take brings you closer to your future. But here's the important part. You need to be aware of the negative thoughts holding you back. Write them down and confront them. By acknowledging these thoughts, you weaken their power over you. This exercise, called metacognition, helps you take control of your mind and focus on your goals. Now let's take a closer look at what's holding you back. Write down the things you need to stop doing. Do you find yourself complaining, making excuses, or blaming others? Be honest with yourself. Consider the experiences that trigger negative emotions and try to avoid them. Here's the key point. Jot down those emotions that keep dragging you back to the past. These feelings are like leftover residue from past experiences. When you start feeling things like guilt, unworthiness, or despair, you're stuck in the past. This not only clouds your vision of the future, but also affects your brain negatively. Studies show that much of what we remember from the past isn't even accurate. Our brains tend to embellish memories, making them worse. So, by dwelling on these emotions, we're essentially reliving a past that might not even be real, just to keep ourselves stuck in limited ways of thinking. When you open your heart, something amazing happens. Your heart starts to beat in a steady rhythm, creating a magnetic field that stretches up to 3 meters wide. This energy carries information and intent. So, when you feel grateful and your heart is open, you're sending out positive energy into the world. You're putting out the intention for good things like health or wealth. But if you're feeling down or suffering, that negative energy doesn't carry the same positive intent. That's why it's important to learn how to control your feelings and stay focused on your goals. This takes practice and effort, but it's worth it. When your heart and brain are in sync, it's like having a powerful energy laser. You can think more clearly and focus better. On the other hand, stress can scatter your thoughts and make it hard to concentrate. It's like having a bad Wi-Fi connection. You can't access the energy and information you need. But when you're in sync with yourself and the world around you, amazing things can happen. You start noticing little signs and coincidences that point you in the right direction. It's like the universe is saying, keep going, you're on the right track. So, by staying positive and focused on your goals, you're not just creating a better future for yourself, you're also creating a better present. Your thoughts and feelings have a real impact on the world around you. What you think and feel have a powerful impact on your life. Your thoughts send out a signal, and your feelings draw events back to you. If you want something, like health or success, you need to believe in it and feel it deeply. You can change your thoughts and feelings by practicing gratitude and appreciation. This can boost your immune system and improve your health. In fact, studies have shown that just a few minutes of gratitude each day can strengthen your body's defenses against illness. By focusing on positive thoughts and feelings, you can create a better future for yourself. Your inner state is more important than your outer circumstances. And amazingly, you can even change your genetic destiny by changing your mindset. Just by doing some inner work, like meditation for about 60 days, 5 times a week, you can actually lengthen your life. How? Well, there are these little parts at the end of your DNA called telomeres, and they get longer when you meditate regularly. That means your body's age starts to change. We've even seen some incredible changes in people's brains during meditation. It's like their brains are filled with way more energy than usual, which is pretty amazing. And now, we can even predict and induce these special moments where people have these amazing experiences. We've had people with all sorts of health issues like cancer, Parkinson's, and others come to our events. And after just a week, they make big improvements in how they feel emotionally. And here's the science behind it. Our environment affects our genes, which then affects our emotions. So if we change how we feel, we can change our genes, leading to better health. And it's not just in the lab. We've seen real-life transformations. People who couldn't walk are suddenly jumping around. Someone with Parkinson's who couldn't swallow can now eat and drink normally. It's pretty incredible. And when others see these changes, they start to believe that they can change too. It's like a ripple effect in the community. So, with all this evidence, it's clear that positive change is possible for everyone.